What is up, my pizzas? Cory Vincent here, and you are watching a brand new, or listening, whatever you prefer, a new episode of the Video Game Bang, brought to you by Oblivion Comics and Coffee, Sacramento's #1 spot for comics and or coffee. Also, the good people at vast.gg. Go hang out with those guys, learn about their Discord, win some prizes, all sorts of cool stuff with them. And finally, Gamersupps GG. Got to get your bump with that Gamersupps. It's amazing. They have a new flavor, strawberry burst or something like that. It's supposed to be like Strawburst or which was the best Starburst? Like, undeniable.
Strawburst
the pink
is
one.
The best Starburst? Strawburst.
That's what we called it on the streets. On the mean streets. You heard her voice. She was trying to correct me, but she failed. Emma Skies.
Hello. What up, nerds?
Oh, there it is.
I almost missed it.
Emma, how you been? You been traveling? You got to see a picture show?
I did. I went and saw the symphony last night because I'm very cultured, very classy. It was Harry Potter.
Oh my god.
Went and saw Chamber of Secrets live in concert with the symphony. It was beautiful. I cried. It was amazing.
Was it that great?
Yeah, it actually was. I sat down and started crying. It didn't even start yet. I was just so excited. But I'm spoiled now. Like, that's the only way I want to watch movies. It was amazing.
Yeah, okay, you're going to be sorely disappointed. A man who is not often sorely disappointed, Curtis Fisher. What is up?
Man, I'm kind of hyped now. Like, the music started playing and I felt like I was fading, but then they gave me life. So I'm here to give life freely.
All right, we're starting a little bit later than normal. We thank you for all the night owls that are watching today's show. If you are in chat, you're going to notice some changes because Twitch has been going through changes. We're going through changes. We'll get into the Twitch changes here in a second, but if you'll notice, you check that emote area. We've added a bunch of new emotes. We still have more to come. We're going to replace a few older ones. The sub badges look amazing now. They actually make sense. So if you can go check out all that. Basically, if you listen to the podcast, what you can do is you could watch us live. We record the show live on twitch.tv/videogame_bang. And we read your comments as we go along. We use a lot of your great suggestions and feedback during the show.
And then we take credit for all of them.
Oh, totally. Oh, that's the best part. Like, you think that all of these things we say come from us. It's 99% read from the chat. But when you're in the chat, you get access to special emotes, and we just added a bunch. What did we add? So we had the Emma DLC, basically, and it's all, we have the Emma soapbox.
Yay, that's probably my favorite.
That's my favorite.
We all get on the soapbox. We can
by
split
fair.
that one, though, because, whenever someone, you're supposed to use that emote when one of the VGB cast members starts getting fired up about something.
Mm-hmm.
So, Emma, you'll probably use it on a lot more than the rest of us. But
that's what it's there for.
Yeah, that's what it's there for. The other one we popped in there is the swear jar. Take a guess who that one's for.
You know what? Fuck you.
Exactly. Thank you.
There we go.
And now, if you're in chat, this would be the part where you put the swear jar into the chat.
Yeah, go ahead and put that up.
Fuck all of you.
We have a couple other ones. VGB raid. So when we raid, becoming a thing we like to do at the end of the show is we pass on all the viewers to some other Twitch streamer out there. We
There you
have
go.
the Ivy Doom Kitty emote, the Cory Monka S, and Emma Rage. Another one I think is going to get some good
I didn't
views.
see that one before we started.
I'm a fan.
Emma Rage?
I'm a
Yeah.
fan.
Yeah.
Let's
So how much money do we have in the Emma swear jar right now? Oh man, this show would not need Patreon anymore.
Nope, wouldn't need it.
We'd be good.
Nope, Emma can cuss us right into the upper echelon.
Motherfucking.
See?
I'm just going to just shout random swear words.
Random profanities.
All night. You guys didn't even have a middle of a conversation. I'm just like, shit.
That's why this show is rated R.
Hey.
Yeah.
Rated E for Emma.
Yeah, rated E for Emma. So
I like that. I'm going to use that.
Hey, there you go.
It's been great. We're loving the changes. The man who's really been putting in the work is a longtime viewer, Mr. Sergeant Squiggles. So
Squigs.
he has his own channel where he does role playing and he plays some Fortnite. It's a really entertaining stuff, and he's really good at design. Like when you go to his page, he has the appearance and the overlays and everything of like an insanely top tier streamer.
Hey.
And he's getting there, and you got to look the part before you get to the part, right?
True. Got to believe before anybody else does.
Exactly. But there's more changes coming to Twitch. Emma's quite better. You're better versed at the Twitch changes? That
So there's some good things and there's some bad things and there's some arguments about which is which. But the big one, well, we'll start with communities. Ticks. Twitch is nixing communities.
Right.
Getting rid of them completely.
It's rough. Okay, so
I'm not a fan.
So communities were like exactly that. You could start a community. So there's a couple really good ones that we actually, if you're on our stream right now, you see Twitch Kittens and NorCal Casters.
No, you can't see them anymore.
They're already gone?
Yeah.
I could have sworn I just saw them on my screen.
Well, you don't have the updated dashboard for some reason. Anybody that has the updated Twitch website, they don't show them anymore.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
It was
where
gone
like
for
your
me
viewers
earlier.
and stuff are on the left side.
Yeah.
You can't see communities anymore. They're gone.
Yep, completely.
Like you can still stream to them, but
It was a really cool feature. Like, whenever we would decide who we were going to host, we would always go there first and be like, oh, let's pass it on along to, like, another NorCal streamer, show some local love. But I guess that's going away, but they're replacing it with something.
they're replacing it with tags, so like hashtags. So like we stream right now. So the category and your community do different things. Your category is whatever you're playing, whatever you're doing. So ours is talk shows or whatever we're under right now. And then your community is like you could have 3 communities that you stream to. So we had Twitch Kittens, NorCal Casters, and
Energy.
something.
I think we did energy. Or
Energy.
Yeah.
And so you could kind of go in and just see who else was streaming in that community. So now they're going to have hashtags. So it'd be like hashtag podcast, hashtag live, hashtag, or everything's live, but whatever, hashtag whatever. So you can manually input whatever tags you want, but Twitch will also auto apply certain tags based on what you're doing or what you're playing. The shitty part is that you cannot make new hashtags. You have to use whatever Twitch just has in there. So if you want to use, like if you want to get a tag that's for your community, like if Twitch Kittens wants to have a hashtag Twitch Kittens, they have to contact Twitch and ask Twitch to put it in their directory. Wow. You can't just make a new hashtag.
What do you anticipate the changes will look like?
I have no idea. I don't know. I think I'm curious to see how many hashtags are allowed. Like, is it going to be like communities where you can only have 3? Is it going to be like Instagram where you can have 30 before they stop showing your shit? Like,
Right.
Who knows? So I have no idea. And I'll be curious to see how many tags get added. Like, is it going to be a thing where you have to be a big community like Twitch Kittens to get it added? Or can smaller communities that were just kind of trying to start out,
right.
Like a friend of mine has the Nerd Nation community, like is a smaller community like that going to be able to ask Twitch, be like, please let me keep this hashtag? Like, yeah. I've been trying to build this up for months. Like, can I keep this?
They're pretty reasonable. I think Twitch has really got their ear to the ground when it comes to their communities. And it's really cool. Like, I don't know if you've spent a lot of time in various Twitch channels, but they have their employees have their own special badge. Yeah. So when they type in chat, you can see them. Yeah. You see them all the time, just kind of just hanging around. Like, observing. They're always super positive. They'll answer any questions you have.
That's dope.
So they're in there. And like, if you're partnered or even affiliate, I believe you have an email of people you can message. And there's probably a queue. I mean, it's different for partners, but like as partners, we have our own like rep.
Yeah,
almost.
That's dope.
And so they manage probably several hundred accounts, and you have one person, and like. The thing, like, even with front page, getting front page on Twitch, it's not hard to do.
Really?
Yeah, you message that affiliate, that person you have for you, let them know, like, what you have planned. Okay. You can't just bug them and be like, hey, I don't want to be on the front page. You'll hook me up with that front page.
Yeah,
man.
you got to have some kind of plan.
Yeah, if you're like, hey, I'm doing a charity, for this Extra Life event, and I'd really like to get front page.
Yeah, that's good promo.
Like 9 times out of 10, if you do it in advance and it's planned, they'll get you on there.
That's a good look.
The other side of it that people don't really realize is some people put too much weight into front page, and they say like, oh, if I get front page, I'm gonna be ninja.
Right.
There's always stuff on the front page with less than 100 viewers.
That's something that I did notice. Yeah, that's true.
So it's up to you to do something crazy to get that attention or market yourself right. But it's not the big impossible dream that people think it is.
I modded for a friend who got front page, and she was a very, very small creator. She just started Flora on Twitch. She's a beauty streamer, so like they were kind of trying to reach out to the beauty community.
Yeah, I know her. Yeah.
So they just Twitch contacted her. She had like maybe a couple hundred followers, and like Twitch contacted her and was like, "Can we put you on the front page when you're doing one of your streams?" And she was like, hell yeah.
See, that's the other thing too. Like they're very interested in like just how they have each people have different streamers that they are responsible for. There's employees that are dedicated to certain categories.
Okay,
so there's
makes
an employee at Twitch where his job is the eating section.
Yeah, he just got to monitor that the whole
and he
time.
sets the rules.
All
and,
the mukbangs.
Yeah, all those. What do they call it? Social eating was like a
Social
subheading. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And
what will they come up with next?
I don't know. There's one dedicated to podcasts, and sometimes
Makes sense.
they're like, that's their idea. Maybe we can build social eating. Not enough people know about it. Let's get it on the front page. Who's my top guys? Let's reach out. So
the only thing about it is like, this is a trend that I've noticed with Twitch, and I've only been, active or observing it for about the last 2 years. But it seems like they do a good job of listening about what people want removed. But I haven't seen that they do such a great job of replacing it with something that's better. Or that used to serve like that would replace that function that they just got rid of. Like, it's not that they do a bad job, but it's just like, okay, you remove that, but like, what are you replacing it with?
Right.
Yeah, when she was first reading the story, my thought was it's very unlike Twitch just to remove something without having something better.
Okay.
Or if it was something like that was really negatively affecting their product. So
So their kind of reason for doing this, they said, is that only 3% of stream viewership across all of Twitch was coming from communities. So they're kind of thinking it's going to be a feature that nobody's going to miss because you weren't getting viewers from it anyway.
Right, which kind of leads back to my thing. Like, I like it shows good faith that they are listening enough to remove something. Like when they remove like the feed where you can post updates and stuff like that, and it would go to your Twitter. It's like no one was using it, but at the same time, like, what I don't know what it looked like for them to kind of like show people, because Twitch is still a pretty new thing, and what I like about them is they will try different things, but it's like, how much are you explaining to people the benefit of this, or what your idea was of how to use it? Because like we figured out the communities thing, and we're starting to get going on that, and it's like, oh, well, only 3% of people are using it. It's like, well, how much did you promote its benefits?
Right.
Like, because you've changed it for hashtags, but how are these even going to work? If they work like traditional hashtags, like, it only does so well. I don't know how good it would do for Twitch, and especially like, I guess that's them policing it. You can only make, you have to contact us if you want to make one. Well, like, for people who are trying to build communities, now we have to go through a gatekeeper just to try to build something which normally would be very organic, and we wouldn't have to jump over some fence or through a hoop to do.
Yeah. They're incorporating the new categories too, is another pretty big shakeup that I think will affect our show directly. Before, it was gaming talk shows. Like, if you were not playing a video game, you basically had talk shows, and then they turned it into IRL. And then IRL quickly got its own personality and its own culture and its own, and there's a lot of controversy about it. Swatting became more prevalent than it had ever been, and crazy incidents happening in the street because everyone's making mobile rigs now and going outside and streaming everyday life. And it became really a really toxic place for women, because that group of people who was dominating it would then just go into. We talked about it with Zombie a little bit. Like, there was a lot of like big streamers would stream themselves making fun of other streamers,
like smaller streamers.
Yeah, it was like a bullying type of thing. So it got really bad. But now they've added like 13 new subheaders in there, and they're throwing it with like creative, like makeup, beauty. Like, what were some of the other ones?
So IRL and creative are completely gone. They're not going to exist anymore.
Okay.
And in its place, there are 13 new, more specified categories, which are art, hobbies and crafts, which is where stuff like cosplay would go, food and drink, music and performing arts, beauty and body art, science and technology, just chatting, travel and outdoors, sports and fitness, tabletop RPGs, special events, talk shows and podcasts, which is where we would live, I suppose, and ASMR.
They gave ASMR its own category.
I think of all of them, that's the one I'm most excited for, because never again will I be perusing IRL and accidentally click on an ASMR stream. Never again.
Yeah, that was kind of the thing in IRL. You never know what you were going to get.
Right.
Yeah, total mixed bag.
Anything, you can kind of look at the thumbnail and be like, what the fuck is that? Are they at a McDonald's? All right, let's watch that for a minute. Or then it turns into ASMR, and it's all sorts of crazy stuff. So, The intriguing part for me is how they changed it. They could have just left it talk shows.
It could have.
But they changed it to talk shows / podcasts.
Right.
I think it's just for clarity.
Kind of, but like, as a podcaster of this long, like I've seen the shows come and I've seen them go. Like I'm starting to get, this is my industry. I love it, and it's always a victory when someone uses the term podcast. Like when Google made Google Podcasts, and they started using the word podcast instead of like whatever they called it before, shows, and lumping it with music and things like that. Yeah. So it's always a victory that the forum is getting known and more respected, is not like just like an internet radio show or whatever. But and so breaking that up, saying talk shows or podcasts, it would be like in that, how we said beauty and hobbies or whatever. What's cosplay going to be under?
Hobbies and crafts.
Imagine if it said cosplay, hobbies, crafts, cosplay. You just have that little victory of the cosplay community being like
that acknowledgement.
Of like they're respecting us.
Absolutely.
And creators are already pissed off about that title.
Explain.
316 in chat brought it up, but I was gonna say people that generally stream and are creative are mad that a lot of them this career that they have is being sort of downgraded to a hobby and a craft.
Oh,
but
it's like people that have
what's
done.
What's wrong with the craft though? Like, don't people always say like work on your craft? Like,
yeah, but when you put it with hobbies and crafts, it kind of, to me at least, and I think to a lot of people that were upset about it, kind of smells very much of like a craft store. Like you're gonna go, craft glitter, craft whatever. Like when you put it with hobbies and crafts, I don't know. It's. So a lot of people are just kind of like rubbed the wrong way about it. They're like, you could have left it called creative.
So on one channel,
or like, why is it not art?
I kind of see what you're talking about, because like on one channel will be some kid making a macaroni thing, and, next page is Ivy Doom Kitty making some fucking piece of armor or some shit like that that's gonna pay her bills.
And
then the next channel again is finger paints, or I don't know.
I think this is part of like the growing pains of it, like because I get it, like it. Because on the flip side, not everybody that does it is doing it as
a career.
They are doing it as a hobby. I think maybe if they just, even if you just split the difference and just took the hobbies out, people would probably feel better about it.
But there were some wins. Like there were some good things. Like I know beauty and body art was something that people have been waiting for a long time.
Okay.
Like beauty streamers and body art streamers have been waiting for that for a very long time. Tabletop RPGs, people have been waiting for that for a really long time.
That makes sense. Yeah, totally.
Especially because they had a D&D section, but it was like not every RPG is D&D. So like, what do I stream under?
Right.
So I know that was something that people would have been looking forward to a lot. And then just kind of getting rid of giving just chatting its own category.
Yeah.
Like if you're just gonna like hang out and just chat and not play games or not make things or do anything, like that's totally cool, but like give that its own thing.
And they distinguished it away from the talk shows and podcasts, because I guess talk shows and podcasts would be more formal, and then just chatting would be kind of informal, just kind of hanging out or whatever. I do wonder this, and if this is their thought, and I can't tell by the way they presented it, like talk shows and podcasts, but they did acknowledge podcast. I'm curious if they aren't trying to encourage people that maybe don't stream video when they podcast to come in there, because that would be a brilliant idea for them to be more of a, because not everybody that does podcasts can do video. Like I'm sure a large majority of podcasts probably don't have video, they are purely audio, so it would be,
it's a whole nother thing. Like you've done it forever.
It's adding another layer to it.
Curtis was doing it on a level of like multi-camera angles with like running footboards, and he had to tear it apart every night for years. Like I couldn't imagine. I'm lazy. Our setup is pop up, pop down for a reason.
Hey, you know what? Work smarter, not harder.
Exactly.
I appreciate that.
Somebody in chat asked, where will producer channels like She Music and DJ Cutman end up? There is a music and performing arts section for that.
Yeah.
So a lot of people, make music or do DJ sets on Twitch, so that'll all end up in music and performing arts.
Interesting, man.
So there's kind of like a thing for everything now.
Who would have thought Twitch is just becoming this beast? Like I'm reading conversations and news articles and all this kind of stuff about like sponsors are getting more and more interested in Twitch now as a serious medium. But before they're throwing down, Super Bowl commercial money at Twitch ads, there's questions that have to be answered. How many viewers are actually watching? What is the engagement rate on this? How far will my money take me?
Well, and people are kind of worried about that with the splitting up of all these categories. It's like they're worried that they're going to lose viewers. Like that it's splitting up viewers too much. Like it's splitting up categories, but you're also splitting viewers. Like IRL had, hundreds of thousands of viewers.
True. Yeah, very true.
So if you did, X thing in IRL and now you're in a completely separate category, maybe that category doesn't have the hundreds of thousands of followers. Maybe it only has a couple hundred if it's something small.
But it's one of those and this will probably be words that this show lives or dies on in the Twitch community. Like what we do is not the popular side of Twitch. Right. There's not too many podcasts unless Pokimane or Ninja starts one that, will just pick up with tens of thousands of viewers.
Right.
There's some in here more successful than others, obviously, but, and mainly that's because podcasts are like bi-weekly at most. They're not getting together every day to build those core audiences. So if there's nobody in the podcast section, and it's kind of just a sign that maybe, you just set your expectations of success. Yeah. Just know what your peak and your lower is going to be. But going back to the sponsorship thing, the Overwatch, let's say, they were on Disney, ESPN, Twitch, and they're trying to calculate the viewers. And when you're trying to sell sponsorships on that, there's no average concurrence is what we use. The most people in Twitch world say I'm going to sell against the fact that there's always 100,000 people in here. And that the average concurrence, but no, they don't really use that as a currency on television, I guess. There's other factors that go into it than how many people are watching at any given time. They have the Nielsen system or whatever, and all that kind of stuff.
Nielsen. So, it's going to be interesting to see what it ultimately turns into, but people who are trying to get it ahead of the curve, even the NBA, the NBA streams tons of their minor league games on Twitch. And I think,
I had no idea.
Yeah. The G League, they stream it on there. That's where I was catching a lot of the games for what used to be the Reno Bighorns, the Sacramento Kings, minor league team. But so some people are trying to get ahead of it. And when people like NBA, bringing even the 2K League and stuff like that, as they're bringing the younger audience over to it and helping promote it and then getting in early. So I think it ultimately will pay off. But the thing about Twitch, even as long as you've been on there and you've been on there, it's still relatively new in the overall scheme of things. So I think we're just seeing, growing pains and even some growing pleasure.
So that goes into the long-term question. Do you see Twitch or maybe a Twitch offshoot made by Amazon that's how you experience live television? Maybe, next year's American Idol will be available on Twitch and you can see, and it brings a whole new audience because there's something that drew millennials and gamers to Twitch. It's that interactiveness of that chat room. Yeah. And it gets out of hand, obviously, when there's hundreds of thousands of people. You can barely read it, and then spam chat becomes a thing, which is bizarre in its own right.
Right.
But can you imagine, and they tried to do this before. I remember watching shit like The Walking Dead, and it's okay, pull out your tablet now, and we're going to show you some, what the director was thinking when they shot the scene. And it was that dual screen experience they were trying to hype. Yeah. That's really the best common ground what Twitch offers to people.
Yeah, I mean the engagement, right? The interaction. I'm sure already I think that the numbers is what everybody wants. That's what the ad companies are looking for. We're trying to find what that looks like on Twitch currently, but the people have to be there. But what's interesting about it is the engagement. So you can have a bot, you know what I mean? And it's the bot throws out when that thing goes on sale and people just have to click on the link right there. Whereas, usually if you're watching a TV commercial, it's we're hoping that we get this burned into your brain. So when you're walking down the aisle, you grab Tide. But you know what I mean? But if it's you can click on the link right there and Amazon is just going to ship it to your house. Trust me, they will want in on this. They're just still trying. I think they're just still trying to figure out what Twitch is because in a way, all of us are too, and
Yeah.
even Twitch itself.
Exactly.
Twitch is trying to figure out what its identity is.
Emma, would you watch season 3 Daredevil? And if you had the option to, whenever you wanted to turn it on or off, you could turn on a chat room just to see what other people watching it are thinking?
So that's interesting because I think we've talked about it before. I watch a lot of Korean television, and one of the websites that I watch, Drama Fever, or it's either Drama Fever or Viki, has that in it.
Oh, snap.
There's a live chat room that you can turn on and off, and it keeps track. Well, it's not live. It's whenever people are watching it. But it keeps track of when, like, if I type a message about whatever's happening, like something just happened at 27 minutes. Oh, my God, like, that's crazy. Whenever somebody else is watching it, when they hit 27 minutes, they'll see that message or whatever somebody else typed at 27 minutes.
Wow.
So I've already seen it.
What do you think of that, though? Do you enjoy it? Do you utilize it?
I almost always turn it off because it's distracting. But if it's a show that I don't super care about, or if it's something that, like I'll be honest, I don't know a lot of people that watch Korean shows, and, like, I want to talk about it, so I can't. But sometimes I'll just turn it on to be like, oh, my God, like, who else reacted to that? Was that fucking crazy? Like, what do you guys think is happening? What is this? So it's actually, it's kind of nice. And clearly tons of people, like thousands of people on the website use it. It's always extremely populated.
Yeah, that triggers a thought in the fact of, like, when you see those, like, in Twitch, when you see an oh shit moment, everyone spams PogChamp, and, like, that's when I look over usually, because then there's always some clown in there who has the next dank meme, or brings up another side of it that's just so funny. And then if I can do that, I would totally do that during Daredevil.
Yeah, no, same.
Like there's tons of, like, even if it's, like, cringy and you're like, what the fuck, and I'd want to see, like, am I the only one who thinks this is cringy? Yeah, okay, we're all in agreement. That was dumb.
You said the key phrase though. Like, how many times have we said that to ourselves? Am I the only one?
Right. Yeah.
Now you know you're not, because you got the chat up. That's smart.
No, and that's, like, another level to that is that so a lot of people already know this. When a Marvel show on Netflix releases, it releases at midnight. I'm on exactly at 11:59. I click it at midnight. I watch it, and I'm like, I always kind of wonder, I'm like, am I the first person in the world that finished this? Because I binge 13 episodes in a row, no stopping. And I get to the end, I'm like, and it's like one of those things, like, I could, like, leave messages and be like, I'd be
first.
It's that YouTube thing where you're like, I was the first person here. But, like, is somebody else going to see, I don't know. Is somebody else going to see my message and be like, somebody beat me here? Or am I going to see a message and be like, fuck, somebody was here before me?
In a way, that's, like, why we go do live entertainment. Like, when we go to see a concert or a sporting event, it's when someone lands that shot, or, like, when we were just watching the BCF fighting with Hook Gang God and Kill Sage.
Yeah.
It went to a crazy game 9, and then you just hear the audience going nuts. Because we just like community and experiencing these things together. And when you see someone else's hype, makes you get a little more hype.
Yeah.
And they don't even have to be there. Like, it could be through something like a Twitch chat.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But that energy can pass through digitally, like the hype, you know what I mean? And that's those are the moments, right? Like, those are the moments where, people from all over are connecting, because of that one, core thing that we're all rallying around. I think it's extremely healthy for communities, and I think Twitch is one of the biggest things kind of showing people, like what that might look like. But I like the fact that that service that you're using, Emma, like does that. It's
really cool.
Yeah. I mean, half the time, even when, like, I'm reading a comic book, sometimes I'm, like, reading a comic book, I'm like, oh my gosh, this scene. I wish that, like, I could share this with someone, but no one's reading East of West right now. So I think this is something that once they find out kind of how to tame it a little bit more, because within this community that we're in, trolling is a thing.
Yeah.
But they just have to find out how to make sure it doesn't have such a negative impact on the rest of the people that came in there to have a good time. Because we all know how ad companies are. If it's anything that's going to turn people away from what they're spending their hard-earned money, to put in front of people's faces, they're like, that's got to go.
Yeah.
YouTube taught us about that.
Yeah. All that to say, if you guys have, what Twitch Prime, or Amazon Prime is, guys?
What is that?
It's that crazy service. Like, literally everybody has it.
Okay, everyone. Okay.
Yeah, it costs like $90 a month or something.
A month?
I mean, not a month, a year. Sorry, I'm over. It should. It's worth that much.
It is.
I would pay that much.
I would too.
Luckily, the good people at Amazon don't make us pay that amount of money. They only make us pay $90 a year, and you get free shipping on everything Amazon can ship in 2 days.
That's incredible.
It's incredible. But here's the best part.
What's the best part?
If you have a favorite Twitch streamer, like on Twitch, that you enjoy watching.
Like VGB?
Like VGB, yeah.
Oh,
just
okay,
like this one.
okay. I'm
2
following.
times a week. You know, they grind their asses off just to make sure they have the best show for everybody.
They do.
And you already have this service that you love. You can, for free, mind you, click the button that says subscribe, link your Amazon account to your Twitch account because they're under the same company.
Yeah.
And pay us money.
Hold on, wait. Is that free money?
For free. Yeah,
free money.
You don't pay for it. Twitch does, dude.
What?
Bro.
This is incredible.
So hit that button, everybody.
Please.
I hate you all.
Emma.
Oh, it's different.
Emma.
I hate it.
Emma's telling the news.
I'm so uncomfortable.
That's supposed to get you hyped. That's supposed to give you life.
Yeah, come on. David likes it. He actually put that in his contract that we had to play that song before he did the news.
Can I put it in my contract that we're not allowed to?
I'll make a better song for you. Don't worry. We'll get you another one. So yeah, we have we've collectively been scouring the internet through the weeks, and we collect news stories. We put them in a Google document, and Emma, being the most affluent of all of us, as you could tell by that saliva I just swallowed in the middle of the sentence.
Yes.
We let her or Webb, whichever one is less drunk at the time, tell
I think
everybody.
that's also not what affluent means.
Oh, seriously?
I'm pretty sure affluent just means rich.
Really?
Really? Rich in news?
I don't know. That's why you're doing the news.
All right, here we go. So first of all, we've got some new game details on Red Dead Redemption 2. We got a massive for games. We got a 6-minute complete gameplay trailer. And as I've never played it, I'm actually going to let Cory take this.
So, Red Dead. Where do I even start with how amazing this game is? It's better than all of the GTAs combined. Take every one of them, Vice City 3, the ones no one gives a shit about, 1, 2, and then put them in a giant ball and send it to Westworld. And then that is what you get. And there's horses instead of cars. It's Grand Theft. It's Grand Theft Horse. And there's gangs. You can play that game where you put the knife in between your fingers. You know, that thing that cool cowboys would do. There's all sorts of stuff. And it's all that looks like it's staying, but they're adding like this gang feature. So it's kind of like you're the main dude. He has a gang, and you're part of this pack, and you can go there and based off of your interactions with people, unlock different parts of the storylines.
Okay.
And some people you can be an asshole and don't do nothing with them. It's kind of like all up to you. And one of the cool parts is that, and this is pretty great in the advancement of their AI system, is that when you're going across the roads, you don't always have to kill to resolve things.
Okay.
You can talk your way out of it. You can intimidate, and then all those interactions with that person can pay off down the line. You don't know.
I like that idea.
Maybe there's like a passerby who's like, you don't want to kill, but you get your way through it, or you give them some money. I don't know. It's crazy. They're really going full Westworld.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
See, I can get behind that.
I can't wait. Actually, this is the first game. It's gonna it looked amazing, and it's gonna be one of those enhanced for the Xbox One X.
Okay.
And I was just looking at my old Xbox original day one.
Oh snap! The OG Xbox.
Petting it across the head, saying, I think your time is over, baby. I think I have to get this upgraded 4K stuff because I want to play this game.
You know what's over? I still have the Xbox One that I bought when it was first out. That's what I'm still using.
Me too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I have a day one edition.
Air 5.
It says it on the thing.
Yeah. There we go.
That thing is going.
Oh yeah, no, it's a tank.
It's going.
I love that thing, but I don't know. I think I'm ready to throw down the $500 to play this particular game in 4K.
Oh snap!
It's already assigned Ivy, David, myself. Emma's on the fence, but we're gonna get it on the Xbox. I think that's gonna be the platform of choice, and it was one of the most fun games I ever had online.
Dang, really?
Yeah, so much fun.
out.
Yeah, it's so good. But there's other games that got revealed today or had some extended trailers.
Yeah, so QuakeCon is going on, and so we got a couple big newses. So the first was Doom Eternal, which got a kind of cinematic-ish, trailer-ish at E3 that really wasn't much of anything. Like, I didn't understand fully what it was. I thought they were announcing DLC. Like, it wasn't until after it that I realized, oh, fuck, it's a sequel. Like, it's a whole-ass game.
They were not specific. I thought it was
really
mobile.
say...
It could have been mobile. They didn't really say exactly what it was going to be.
Yeah, so we finally got some stuff. I was not able to watch the entire video, but we did watch a good portion of it. There is... The entire, like, presentation of it is, like, 25 minutes. I highly recommend watching it if you're into it. But... the big news, or like the kind of bullet points, are that ID Software or id Software like specifically said that this is their strongest, most badass hero they've ever done, which means this is going to be gory and bloody as fuck.
It looked like 6 minutes of pure gun porn.
Oh yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, totally.
And so they already mentioned, I think we already knew this before QuakeCon, but they mentioned that it's going to have double the demons that were in the first game, and you were already fucking overrun. So double that.
Okay.
They're introducing double destruction for the... I forget what they even called it. There's like a term where you get a character or you get a demon down to like minimal health points. It starts to glow and you can do this crazy fucking takedown where you like rip out its spine or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
It's like
a
bunch. So they updated those. We saw some of them and they're pretty fucking brutal.
It's
they make
over
use.
the top.
It is. They make good use of the new blade. You have a blade attached to your left arm now. So that's going to be
because why
everywhere.
not? Yeah.
The shotgun has a grappling hook, so you can you can use it to get places, but you can grapple an enemy, pull it into you, and then shoot it in the face.
Straight Roadhog status.
That's
So
like
they've
Scorpion
got,
status.
yeah, they've got.
Okay, you're
It's
right.
fucking
You give it to the OG.
Yeah.
Except it's already attached to the gun, so you don't have that extra second of having to switch hands.
Right. That's so dumb.
That was always the most annoying part of
It really
that whole
is.
thing.
It really is. New enemies. They've got some brand new shit they're bringing out. Some old enemies from way back in the day. New guns, new this and that. Mick Gordon is back for the music, which I'm super fucking pumped about.
The types of games you like,
incredible.
let's just go there for a minute. The types of games that you get excited about are really bizarre, and they have no, like, if someone was trying to ID you or something, or submit you to the police, or I've been watching a lot of True Detective, so you'd be
Profile me?
Yeah, if you were trying to profile you just off of the games you get excited about, you're a psychopath.
Who's not excited about Doom?
Just hearing your Unravel 2 reaction be this similar to your Doom reaction, like those,
I mean, to be fair, I didn't cry at the Doom trailer. I got real close, but I didn't cry.
I mean, okay, you had emotional response. The one indie game that you've been streaming,
The Rabbit and the Owl.
Yeah, that one you were super hype about, but then all these games are so different than Doom, and then DOA, Dead or Alive.
Yes, my baby.
Yeah, that was
This is
favorite.
you are a very hard person to
I'm
like.
a complex woman with complex interests.
this be true?
It's true. Yeah, that's why you get a soapbox emote.
Nobody puts Emma in a box.
No, exactly.
Nobody puts Emma in a corner.
Wow. All right.
I just get on the box.
There you go. Oh, hey.
Hey.
The emotes, where they at?
Yeah, where's that emote?
And then the one that I know that chat is waiting for, at least a few in chat are waiting for, we got some Fallout 76 news. And the biggest news that came out of QuakeCon, are you looking at the notes? Can you see what I wrote?
Let me see.
Don't look at it if you haven't seen it.
Okay, I haven't seen it.
Okay, so they announced, Fallout 76. They announced that it's multiplayer only.
Yeah.
What was everybody's first, this is going to be a problem?
The NPCs in the story.
The second. This is not going well.
The
be easier.
griefing.
There you go,
Okay.
griefers. So griefers were one of the biggest things people were worried about. So they have an answer for that.
Ooh.
So they kind of just took griefers and made them part of the game. So if a person is a griefer and they kill what they said are unwilling players, so if you're not in a combat situation, somebody just comes and kills you or just comes and wrecks you for no reason, that person gets a bounty on their head.
Okay.
That bounty, when they die, comes out of their own currency.
Okay.
So they pay whoever kills them. And they are easy to find because they are brightly lit on the map.
Okay, that was the part we were worried about because I'd read or heard from somewhere that every player was going to be visible on the map.
That they might be, but because they specified that it's like a bright red mark.
So that
people.
just says go kill this guy if you want a reward.
Yes.
Okay.
And they brought in a revenge mechanic where if you kill the person that killed you, you get double the bounty.
Ooh.
Oh, okay, that's
Okay,
pretty dope.
I can roll with that.
So they said stuff keeping with the griefer thing. They kind of said that you won't lose your core gear, so things like armor, weapons, you won't lose that if somebody kills you. So you don't have to worry about getting this crazy laser gun and then somebody kills you and it's gone. So like you'll keep your stuff like that. And there's always private servers. They have said that there will be private servers if you just want to avoid that altogether.
Okay. Yeah, that was part of the beginning things. Like you could play alone if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right.
But I think that'll be.
I still have so many questions on
Yeah.
this one. Like I have my little Amazon wish list that I update for all my stuff. You know that I just keep track of the things I want.
Is Fallout 76 on there?
It's not. That's the thing. I just went through last night and started thinking of the games I was hyped about for the year, and I added like 4 or 5 games. None of them were Fallout. So I'm still kind of hype. I have so many questions, but it slipped off the day one buy.
Oh yeah, it's not a day one buy for me.
I need some guinea pigs to buy it, and then read some Twitter comments, get on Reddit.
Kind of get a lay of the land.
On that list though, last night it got me rolling. It Smash Ultimate,
of course.
That's gonna day one buy.
Heck yeah.
Mario Party, Super Mario Party, day one buy.
Okay.
Red Dead, I threw on the list last night. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, those were the ones.
No Spider-Man, or do you not have a PlayStation?
I do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've had mixed experiences with those Spider-Man games. I liked a few of them. I don't think that just throwing Spider-Man and showing me some story. I don't know. I'm surprised you're so into that one. Do you like all those Spider-Man games in the past?
No, I've actually never played any of the past Spider-Man games. What got me was the gameplay trailer I liked a lot, but the idea that I've been looking for something to replace Arkham in my life.
Yeah.
Oh,
totally.
Okay. Hopefully it does that.
So I'm hoping that it'll kind of be very similar in feel to that.
Yeah, if that's the case, I'm down. There's I don't know. There's been a bunch, some better than others. Overall, the mechanics of Spider-Man himself is perfect for a video game.
Right.
Totally.
Like web slinging through a city is fun no matter what you do. But then it's always like, how do the villains work? Is the story any good? Like, is there branching storylines? How do the pedestrians interact? You hit by there's always just weird stuff in them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So all my day one buys ended up being in September.
So what else?
Spider-Man, Spyro, Tomb Raider.
Spyro on your list?
Hell yes.
Is that your childhood or what?
Hell yes, it is.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Saw the trailer, I heard the music, and I was just like crying. I was like, I want this so bad. I'm gonna play it. I need it. I'm really excited for that.
All right. What else we got?
Halo TV show.
All right.
Yeah.
Are you excited about that?
No, not really.
Me neither.
As a Halo huge fan, I'm a huge fan of Halo, I am not excited for this show all that much. I'm not excited yet. I'm not letting myself get excited.
So what do we know?
So we know it's going to be on Showtime, which should be a good sign.
Yeah.
But apparently it's going to be dealing with the concealed identity of the Master Chief. So it sounds like he's going to be the main character of the show.
John?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, which is kind of yes and no, good and bad. Good because you obviously want a Halo story to be about the Chief in a lot of ways, but at the other end of the spectrum, you kind of don't want him to take off the mask.
Yeah, which actor's gonna play him, and then I don't want him to have emotions. I feel like that kind of breaks that whole thing that made him intriguing, is that he was kind of a mystery, and it didn't really matter.
And Bungie actually talked about that over 10 years ago in an article where they said that the character is meant to stand in for you, which is why you never see his face. Because if he takes off the helmet, it should be you. You should be who you're seeing. That's the big deal. And Marty O'Donnell, who used to be the music
composer,
guy.
Oh no, are you gonna ruin him for us too?
No, he's great.
Okay.
The way they treated him and the way they fired him was shitty.
Okay.
He said that taking off the helmet is unacceptable. Way back when.
Yeah.
Well, that's when Bungie was in charge, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a whole different age now.
So Showtime president David Nevins called the Halo series their network's most ambitious series ever. So
they've done some good stuff.
I'm hoping that means they're throwing a lot of money at it.
So Showtime did Dexter, is that right?
Showtime did Dexter.
Spartacus?
They just did, I believe so. I want to say they did Counterpart, but that may have been Stars. So,
they got resources. Spartacus was really good, and so was Dexter, obviously, until it wasn't. Until the story, the writing got really bad, but the show was always good. Interesting.
So they said it'll be their most ambitious series ever. They said it'll be set on multiple planets, but they shied away from the inevitable Game of Thrones comparisons. So they don't necessarily want to be compared to Game of Thrones, where like they have 10 different stories in 10 different places that are all taking place at the same time. So it kind of sounds like they're not really going for that. The guy said it's a very different genre. It's futuristic, space-based science fiction, not fantasy. And is futuristic, space-based science fiction a new genre? Like, what?
No.
He says it's a very different... Oh, wait.
Maybe
hang
for
on.
them.
I just... this is why I should read these things before we start, because it just occurred to me that he was talking about Game of Thrones. It's a very different genre to Game of Thrones.
Okay.
So scrap the last 30 seconds of that.
Yeah, and also let's also get more fact checking in, because Mr. 13 in here lets me know that Spartacus was on Stars.
Okay.
Well, fuck. So the only thing I can remember... I know I watched stuff on Showtime, but the only thing I can remember is Dexter.
Okay.
I love Stars, though. Let's see what else we got here. It's okay. So they're expected to start filming next year. No, not next year. Yeah, no, I can count. Next year. For some reason, I thought it was 2017. They're going to start filming in 2019, and they're trying to release in 2020. And all that said, I don't really care right now.
Yeah, me neither.
I love Halo, but I will not let myself get excited about this, because we have been promised a network show before. We have been promised a feature-length movie, and that turned into District 9, which it was an interesting movie. It just wasn't a Halo movie.
Yeah.
But we were promised, I want to say that Nightfall was supposed to be a network show, and then it became an Xbox show.
Oh, I remember when they
And
were doing
Nightfall
that
wasn't even that good. Love you, Mike Coulter, but that was not great.
Let's try and forget that era of Microsoft when they were trying to do the whole integration with TV thing, and then they had that game show every day that kind of failed, the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire thing.
Although, what I did like was Forward Unto Dawn. That wasn't half bad.
Was that the animated one?
No. I mean, they have an animated, I want to say series of that, but like there was like I think it was leading into Halo 4. They had the Forward Unto Dawn live action movie, and Chief is actually in that at the very end. Like, he comes in and saves the day at the very end, because it's a bunch of recruits. It's a bunch of Spartan recruits.
I had a buddy who was really into the books. Like, he would tell me all these rando facts about Halo that I had no idea about. He's like, yeah, did you know they'd put recruits, or an average guy tried to get into a Spartan suit once and it ripped his body apart?
Yeah.
I was like, all this crazy stuff.
The Chief is 7.5 feet tall.
Yeah, you have to be like a Captain America, basically, to operate the thing without the suit itself just ripping your body to shreds. Well, and they have to turn you into that. They
have to do all these crazy tests that most of the kids never survive. That's why they kidnap them as children.
Did you like ODST?
The game? Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I
think that was one of the best.
I've enjoyed all of the games, even 5, which I know a lot of people didn't like. I only read the first 3 books. I know there's like 78 of them, but I've only read the first 3.
It's a billion.
I'm like, if it works out, great. I'll be excited, but I'm not gonna let myself get excited for this again and get crushed.
Don't let him hurt you, girl.
I'm not. This is my line in the sand. So it hasn't even started filming yet. We won't see it for another 2 years. I'm not worried about this.
Yeah.
Let's see. We got some Showtime shows. Were Californication, House of Lies, Masters of Sex, The Borgias, Homeland, Ray Donovan. So the only ones of those that I've seen were...
What about Outcast? That's another Robert Kirkman show.
I have no idea.
I want to say that might be on Showtime.
But so I mean, it has a good track record.
Yeah.
Masters of Sex was really, really good. Homeland was really good for the first few seasons.
Yeah.
But none of those are like a big sci-fi
Their stuff
show.
is just kind of hard to obtain, right? You got to watch it through Showtime or through the Showtime network
it's like
thing.
HBO kind of stuff.
Yeah, man. We'll see.
And speaking of show news, Daredevil Season 3 villain confirmed, probably by accident. I think I popped that in the group chat when I saw it on Instagram, and I was like, oh, I guess we have a confirmed villain. So it's going to be Bullseye, and the only reason we know that is because what looks like either Charlie Cox's personal trainer or a trainer for the show posted a picture with himself, Charlie Cox, and the actor Wilson Bethel. Like they were obviously like they just got done working out and like they were really sweating. He was just like, oh, working really hard on this, and it was like hashtag Daredevil, hashtag Season 3, hashtag Bullseye, hashtag like Wilson Bethel, and everybody was like, all right, I guess that's what it is.
Oh,
then I guess he had to go back and delete it at some point, but I never saw it after it went.
Damn.
I saw it while it was up, and I was just like, oh, cool.
That's is that? I guess no. They brought Punisher in. Is that the highest ranking like villain maybe we've seen on these?
No, I would say
shows?
Kingpin is probably higher than Bullseye.
Really?
Yeah, I would say Kingpin is too, and he goes.
They
across
started
more.
with him.
Yeah, that's right. I always like looked at Bullseye as like a top tier villain.
I need need Bullseye to be good because like they started off really super strong with Kingpin. They went like raise the bar even more with Punisher.
Yeah.
And then we got Elektra. And now we need to get back up. So if we could get a good Bullseye, that would be great. And if we could not bring Elektra back in, even though I know we're going to get her again.
The villains in those Netflix shows are way more on the good side than there are on the bad side. Like the first Jessica Jones first season.
Oh, Kilgrave.
Oh, man. He had me hating David Tennant, and that is hard to do. He is such a lovable, likable guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then you see him take over that character, and they just made him despicable, but didn't... I don't know.
He still had that same charm, but it was twisted.
Yeah, it was
so
like
it kind of like made
charm.
it even worse because it's like I want to like you, but I'm not supposed to.
And then
you're doing terrible stuff.
Yeah, then the psycho part starts. Jessica.
Yeah, oh my, yeah,
that's
that part started to lose me just a little bit. But David Tennant, man.
And then they followed it up with a very lackluster season 2 villain.
Yeah, I didn't.
Have you guys seen season 2?
Of Daredevil?
Jessica Jones.
Jessica Jones?
No, I didn't even know there was a season 2.
Only the first like 3 episodes.
Who was
the villain?
I feel like the spoiler alert has passed. So
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
The villain is
for
herself.
Jessica Jones.
Yeah.
The villain is like this woman that seems to be going around just like, if I try to remember, like randomly kind of attacking people, and Jessica is kind of on her tail and tracking who she is. And long story short, it turns out to be her mother.
I
died,
did see that. Yeah,
when she was a child.
Yeah.
And she finds out that her mother's alive, and she became this thing because they did similar experiments on her. And it kind of turned her into this monster, and she can't really control herself all that well. So she's been living with one of the doctors that was experimenting on her. Basically, got her out and built this.
You're writing a fine line
cave.
between spoiler and then just telling us the entire thing.
Were you gonna watch it? Were you
No.
gonna watch it? Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, I saw some of those episodes too. It looked like it just went too
And
far.
it was so lackluster, and she wasn't a very good villain. Her relationship with Jessica didn't make a whole lot of sense.
It didn't. Like Jessica was for her, then against her. Like she had to apprehend her, but then she was protecting
and then
her.
the ending was very anticlimactic. It was such a disappointment because I was so excited.
I don't think they're doing Jessica Jones justice. Like
not.
out of every even past like Iron Fist, because I feel like Jessica Jones has more upside. She has more potential than Iron, because Iron Fist is basically like kind of a walking meme, so to speak. I don't understand what it. I don't know why they can't like just at this point. I'm almost like, can you please just bring her and Luke together? Because like, and I never wanted it to be like have the Luke Cage and Jessica Jones relationship redeem the bad writing, but that's kind of the place that they've written her into, and it's like we didn't. I mean, we always wanted to see them together, and we got a little taste of it, but we don't want it to be like.
Oh, and then they broke them up again and gave Luke a different relationship and gave her a different relationship. And and I'm kind of over the way they're doing Patsy, or I can't remember her real name.
Hellcat.
So we're finally going to get her... Patricia, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
We're finally going to get her in season 3, it looks like.
As Hellcat?
As Hellcat.
Thank goodness, finally.
Because she kind of... There's a whole thing with her in season 2. And I'm just like, I'm kind of like, you need to stop being the way that you are.
Right.
But so Daredevil season 3, we still don't know when we're going to get it, other than that in that phone call we mentioned a couple weeks ago that it's going to be in the fall. So I would imagine October, since we're getting Iron Fist next month.
Makes sense.
November would be pushing it if you're going to call that fall.
So we're getting a little late in the show, so I think we're going to do a little overtime because I have a feeling we're going to need it in this next topic.
Oh, so
this is
whatever.
This is definitely the main event of the evening, ladies and gentlemen.
You guys are overhyping
it. I mean,
I don't know.
Anytime Ninja's in the news, I mean, he's got a fake disease sometimes. I mean, but this time he's gotten himself into it.
He has. So Ninja was asked, I think he was asked point blank, but basically said he does not play with women because he doesn't want to deal with rumors and drama, and he respects his wife too much to do that. So before we start this, I'm going to go ahead and find the exact quote.
Okay, let's don't want to misquote them.
So I don't want to misquote him. I want you guys to hear exactly what he said, and then we'll get into this. So we were talking about this earlier. So Curtis hasn't heard anything about this.
Nope.
This
fresh
is his
ears.
first, so he doesn't have any opinions on this.
Virgin ears.
You're going to be our bouncing off point here.
All right.
So let's see. So he says, I don't play with female gamers, like point blank. He says, if I have one conversation with one female streamer where we're playing with one another, and even if there's a hint of flirting, that is forever going to be taken and put on every single video and clickbait.
Okay.
He kind of went on to talk about how he just respects his wife and his relationship too much, I think, on Twitter. He said, not being connected to other women online, that was something I made 100% sure of. It was he said it was his decision alone to keep his streaming partners to men only. That wasn't even her, meaning his wife. Mm-hmm. She had nothing to do with it. That was me being, I love our relationship, and no, I'm not going to put you through that.
So basically, okay, Emma, let's start with you. Let's pull out the soapbox in chat, please, because I've seen a lot of different tweets.
Yes, there have been a lot of different opinions on this. I mean, there are kind of two main opinions. There's the I agree with him, and there's the I don't agree with him. And so a lot of people are kind of like, yeah, obviously, like, he just doesn't want to deal with rumors. He doesn't want to deal with drama. Personally, I just, like, fucking roll my eyes so hard I'm going to fall out of my chair. Like, dude, are you fucking kidding me? Really? You can't deal with what female streamers deal with literally every fucking time they get online? Really? But he kind of brings it back to his wife and says that it's that his whole reasoning is because he doesn't want to deal with rumors because he respects their relationship. Mm-hmm. And what? Like, you're obviously married.
Yeah.
Everybody knows you're married. Mm-hmm. You talk about it constantly, but you think that it's too much to play a game with a woman who's not even in the same building, may not even be in the same state, because somebody's going to take a conversation you have and say that you're cheating on your wife and you don't want her to deal with that. Like,
here's my take. I think that he's definitely married.
Yes.
See.
let's just recap the facts. I've been watching True Detective. All right.
Yeah. Just the facts.
Yeah, we got
just the facts
before we shape our narrative. Let's get through the facts. No, so he's huge. My favorite tweet said that he's at that status of under a microscope that if he were to fart right now, everyone would say that he hates air. Like, he hates clean air. Like, he is under a microscope. Not unlike other people who aren't similar that do still play with women. Well, I gotta be careful here, ladies, and maybe he has had. We don't know his relationship. The same thing. Remember, Dr. Disrespect came out of nowhere with his, infidelity things. It's tough when you're that popular not to just go to any kind of event, and if your wife's not there with you, you're gonna have people coming on to you. You're gonna be put in situations like that. You can't avoid it.
But this isn't even about events. Like, it's just being online with somebody. You're not even in the same place.
True. But what my thought here is that he obviously is a man of values. That's his persona. That's what he's putting out there. When he does his streams, it's for people of all ages. Mm-hmm. He does his best to limit toxicity and things like that. He wants to be one of the good guy streamers. Yeah. He's not trying to be an Ice Poseidon or a bad boy.
Right.
I also think, and this is just through knowing people, that people who usually do go above and beyond, like, same thing with alcohol. Like, there's people who won't even go to a party if alcohol is there.
Right.
Because they don't trust themselves.
Right.
And maybe this is a case where maybe it's not his wife. Maybe Ninja just knows his own carnal desires.
That he can't even talk to a woman, though? Like, because that's what this comes down to.
Talking may turn into some DMs to set up those appointments. I don't know. I don't...
I feel where you're coming from. Like, I'll say this. His choice of words were terrible. If your marriage comes before anything else, if you really committed yourself like that to that person, you put that relationship and protecting it in front of everything else. That's your ride or die on both sides, whatever your orientation is, whatever. If y'all committed, y'all got the rings, that goes before everything. And I can imagine, like, okay, you guys met, what are they, high school sweethearts or something like that, or they met at like some tournament or something. I know they've been together for a long time. I watched an interview with them recently. So y'all were together before you blew up, and now all of a sudden you blow up, and then what happens when you blow up? You have, like, cheating and rumors of cheating, and I understand what he's saying. I don't even want to introduce the possibility of this trollful community that I'm, the top of, to start just trolling me with that. It starts to get in her head not because it's true, just because she's hearing it so much, or even in my head, and then now we've introduced that into the relationship. Now, with all that said, yeah, I mean, if you actually have a friend who is a female gamer, I don't see why you couldn't just stream, especially she's way over there, you're way over here. I mean, to a degree, you know, on the flip side, you can't control what people say, you know, and
they can do that same thing right now with them never having played.
Totally.
You know, just
or
in
him
picture.
in a male streamer.
Maybe even, there you go.
You know what I mean? Like, it could go that way, but I think he worded it wrong, and it sounds like he's very adamant about it, adamant to like be like, hey, baby, I got this. You know what I mean? Like, I'm drawing the line and let everybody, you know, ain't nothing, no one coming between us. But at the same time, he drew the line so hard that it sounds more like he's alienating with female gamers as opposed to including them or just protecting his relationship. You got to be careful with what you say. Don't make it sound like you're against, you know, especially a group of people that on a daily basis just get harassed to no end. You know, you be an advocate, but word things the right way. And you know, Ninja, he is in good standing. He does like to show positivity and stuff like that. I am of the mind that I would like to see him create a way that respects his relationship and kind of brings in this group of people.
Yeah, maybe his wife hops on the stream, you know, and they play it together.
Well, and I think they have before.
Oh, no, I mean with an outside girl or something like that.
Even
this is where it gets weird for me, and I think I mentioned this on Twitter earlier, where somebody was saying the same thing. They're like, you know, it's just about being respectful of his wife. And I'm like, maybe I can't understand this because I've never been in a relationship where the trust is so low that I can't talk to another man.
Yeah, well, see,
or that my boyfriend can't talk to another girl. Like, does your wife not trust you? Do you not trust yourself? Like, there's...
I don't think it's a trust thing, though, because but the way that he worded it, and the way that we can perceive it like that. I mean, I've been married, and I can tell you, like, even when there's nothing going on, when, you know, and but it could be a trust issue, could be this, but even just sometimes just hearing hearing a lie over and over and over and over and over and over again. This people are talking about Ninja 24/7, 365. Hearing a lie, even if it's a lie over and over and over again, you can start to question things. Even if you don't convince yourself or believe the lie, you can start to question things. And trust me, in a marriage, the last thing that you want is even questioning anything. It is extremely, extremely, extremely stressful.
The one monkey wrench I throw into this whole thing, though, and on top of all this, is that if it's not playing, like, maybe that's a private rule or something, you know, maybe privately when the cameras are off, it's not just him and another woman because, you know, he'll feel the sudden urge to express his love and whatever, you know, but maybe it's on a stream. Like, he's obviously not going to do anything to in front of hundreds of thousands of fucking people.
I think one of the more...
not. He definitely wouldn't. I mean, that's like your accountability right there. You're in front of the world.
Conan O'Brien says, I'm not going to interview women, you know, on my show because my wife will get jealous or something. It's like, well, no, but it's a show. Like, you're supposed to, your characters.
Like, do your fucking job.
Yeah, do your job.
Yeah, totally.
But no, one of the things that I think was more damning about this is the Polygon article where this kind of all came from actually included a clip of Ninja doing the exact same fucking thing he doesn't want people to do to him, where he was streaming with Myth. And I guess Myth and Pokemon had been streaming together, and he flat out was like, so I see you've been streaming with Pokemon. Are you guys, like, together? Are you doing, like, he's like, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, like, are you banging this chick?
Yeah.
Because, God forbid, like, a man and a woman are just friends. And even Myth was like, what? You're talking, like, no. But, like, if you don't want this to happen, don't be the person that perpetuates that. Yeah. You're doing the thing that you don't want people to do.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And I think it's important to note that, like, he is the biggest influence on this platform. He's the
easily.
Biggest person out there.
Yeah.
And he has this platform that he could do so much with. He clearly recognizes there's a problem where women online are basically, like, if they're there, clearly they're only there because somebody's fucking them.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Clearly they're only there.
No, that's the
like
perception.
The perception.
Okay, I was going to say, well, let's not throw that on my man Ninja, right? My boy Tyler.
No. No, the position...
Tyler wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
He clearly recognizes that there's a problem, and the problem is that when a woman and a man stream together, clearly they're banging. Like, that's the only obvious reason.
Yeah.
And instead of recognizing that he has this platform and he can quite literally affect change in the community, he's thrown in the towel and given in and not doing anything about it. Like, you could have done so much more. Like, he could have done so much more. If he could set an example, and he's not going to. And that's, you know, whatever. If he doesn't want to do that, if he doesn't want to have that responsibility, that's whatever. But, like, people are going to call you out on it.
Yeah. I mean, if what he's saying is true and this really is to protect his marriage, like I said, that bond comes before anything. Any like, unless someone's literally getting murdered or something like that comes first. But if this is his excuse, if this was like his little knee-jerk reaction to a question that someone asked him, shame on you, Ninja. Like, you know, like word things better, or come up with a better way.
Could have ran that past his PR guy.
This would have been a situation where it would have been so much better to just say nothing. Like, either say nothing or kind of play it off like, oh, I don't know, like, it's just never come up before. Like, I just have don't full on. Yeah, I don't play games with women.
No. Like,
I don't stream with women
because it looks like you just built a wall between you and female gamers. You can at the very least just say, you know, like, yeah, I have tons of female friends that are gamers. It's just been a scheduling thing, but. Probably happen in the future. Yeah.
So, like, I also have, like, some tweets from other people that were talking about this.
Let's hear them.
Yeah.
So Tina Dayton was like one of the first ones that I saw, and she's talking about, like, this whole thing is kind of silly. And she said, honestly, half the silliness is that there's a whole article on this. If the dude doesn't want to stream with women, that's fine, but don't write an article on it. It gives every dude a chance to now say, oh, Ninja doesn't play with girls, so I don't either. Because
it can.
When you have, and she kind of goes on. She's like, if you don't think that young people would be impressionable or misconstrued, let me remind you that I had an 8th grader I was tutoring once tell me that drinking Mountain Dew before sex stops a girl getting pregnant. Like, these fucking kids are so impressionable. They'll believe anything somebody they love says. Yeah, and then,
I hope that's not true.
Oh God,
because
Austin Marie on. Jesus Christ. Austin Marie on Twitter said, bullet point, no one is saying Ninja has to stream with women. That's not what anybody here is saying. We're saying that his saying he won't is problematic and doesn't help in any way for women making their own way in the industry that constantly calls anyone with tits a thought. Like, he doesn't have to stream with women. Nobody is saying you have to do this. But the fact that you drew a line in the sand and said that, like, gave women this otherness, this different, like, this differentiation, doesn't help at all.
Yeah.
Like, you clearly recognize that this is a problem, and you're just making it worse.
Yeah. Poor dude. And poor all the women out there who will never play with Ninja because he's afraid that he's going to
have allegations.
Any woman he plays with, he falls in love with, and they fall in love with him, and they'll run away together.
You know who does the same thing, though?
Who?
Mike Pence.
Really?
Yep. He has been very public about the fact that he won't be in the same room with a woman if his wife's not in the room. That's fucking weird.
We're not tying Ninja to Mike Pence, are we? Let's not do that.
I'm just drawing the correlation, which actually I think the Polygon article did as well. And, like, a bunch of people on Twitter were like, doesn't Mike Pence do the same thing?
Oh, man. Old Mike Pence, none the richer. Yeah. Hey, like that one? Yeah, I'm full of them. That was a great show, everybody. We got a lot of ground covered. Thank you so much for Emma leading us through those storylines today. David Webb is out, and Ivy is out. Killed him. We have safe travels to... Webb's dead again. We gotta find the Dragon Balls and bring him back together. It's been an amazing show. Thank you guys all so much. As we talked a lot of Twitch stuff, it is a reminder that if you want to subscribe to the show, help support us, do this, keep the lights on, so to speak, you can hit that subscribe button. Do it for free if you have an Amazon Prime account. And then we can get even more emotes. So I hope you guys like the new ones. The Emma Soapbox got a lot of use today.
That's my favorite.
It's my favorite too.
What tier is that?
It's regular tier.
Hell yeah, I'm gonna use that all the time on
Vanilla
my streams.
Tier. Yeah. We have new Zenzu beans in the chat now too. Look at that. We have the silver and the gold Zenzu beans. Hey. So that's for, like, you can decipher the layer of burn. Like the one you hit me with last week would definitely be a gold. I don't think there's anything above a silver. We were pretty civil tonight, so thank you for that.
You just wait for the after show.
Because after the party's the after party, and then that's when we get really crazy. We start really paying attention to your guys' chat. Listeners to the show, go to twitch.tv/videogame_bang. Give us a follow. You get notified when we go live, and you can interact with us. And likewise, to all the people watching us today, you can subscribe to get the audio version of this, the high quality, take it on the road, listen to past episodes, and that is through iTunes, Stitcher. I think we may even have a SoundCloud out there somewhere. Spotify is a huge one. Android Music, Google Play. I don't know what they call it these days. We are everywhere you could find podcasts. Podcatcher, Podfather, Pod Areno.
Those are real things.
No, I made it.
Okay. I was like, am I just behind the times on podcasts?
We're getting our own category in Twitch, man. This is going to be a good year.
The VGB category.
The VGB category. For Emma Skies, Curtis Fisher, my name is Cory, saying you've just been banged.